Yo, cool. So we are into the final hour, or we're a couple of minutes away from the final hour of this 24-hour MVP build. So I put a call out last Friday and I said, last Thursday, I said, this Friday, I'm going to be building someone's startup idea, taking it from an idea to a launchable piece of software in 24 hours. And I was hoping to do the whole thing on live stream. But due to unforeseen Wi-Fi circumstances, I did everything I could. I got a Starlink. I went and negotiated with the vice president of the building on the top floor. Like I really tried. But yeah, it wasn't to be, unfortunately. And maybe that was for the best, because all you would have seen really was me write code and have the odd mental breakdown. But I would love to do it again. Love to give it another go and do it properly on live stream, and maybe do it with someone so that I don't go insane on my own. But it was a cool experience, and I'm really happy with what we've built. So just to take things from the beginning, I guess. Yeah, to take things from the beginning in terms of what we're building. It's now the 22nd, but we're making group chats better for staying in touch. So we're all in loads of group chats, but group chats have just become a place for organizing things and sending memes and stupid stuff into. And so they're not a good place for actually staying in touch. You can go and message all your mates, and that's what we all do. But I think we fall into the habit of very like surface level check-ins. Like I've got a mate, I check in with him every month, and it's just like, how are things? Anything changed? Have you got a new job? Have you moved house? How are the family? That kind of stuff. So thank you. And they're not a great place for staying in touch. So what we're trying to build is a better alternative to that. And the way, our hypothesis for a way that we think might work, a mechanism that we think might work to solve this problem, is what if you have a like companion to your group chat where you all take it in turns to give a long form audio update on your life. So you send a like 5-10 minute video, 5-10 minute voice note of like, here's what's going on in my life. Here's what I'm up to. Here's what I'm thinking about. Here's some things you guys might find interesting. And here's what I heard this person's doing, like, something about that. Just the kind of things that you'd catch up with your mates about you'd catch up with your mates about if you're all in the same room. Sorry, my brain is not really working at this stage. And so you all give an update once a month, and you get a text when it's your turn. So it's not just like a bombardment of loads of information. It's you take it in turns. It's slow. You're not trying to catch up every single day. It's just like you will give that little bit of time to it. You'll stay in touch. I think it could work. We'll see. We only know when we take it to the market. We find out. And that's why it's such a good idea for this 24-hour thing, because now we've got something we can actually take to the world, which is awesome. So today I've gone through ideation, scoping, my tech stack that I chose. I designed the application to some extent. I developed it. I added in some analytics. I've deployed it. And marketing plan, we didn't get to so much, but maybe in this final hour, we can talk about that a little. And then, so we're targeting a male demographic primarily in their late 20s to early 40s. There's not really anything out there like this at the moment. There's like things like Be Real, which are like an alternative approach to social media. There's also men's like support groups where they get a bunch of blokes that have similar interests, put them all in a room, and they all talk about their problems or life or something. And I think there's definitely a place for that. I think that's really cool. But this is an alternative to like run with your mates. It's not so much like a support thing. It's just like, how can we deepen the connections that we already have? Does it make financial sense? I think so. I've started off with very, very low pricing, just to test it, just to put some payment barrier there in the way to be like, are people actually going to get their credit card out for this? But yeah, kept it pretty low because it doesn't need to be crazy high. The costs aren't too crazy. And then how are we going to market it? I think short form content, it's like the story has to sell this. Like, do you feel like you want to be more in touch with your mates? If you don't, then this doesn't have any legs. And the way to test that is to try and find the short form format that works for this. What are the hooks that engage people? What's the storyline that really is going to compel people to go and check this out? Another really nice thing about this product is that it's inherently viral, in that if I sign up and I create a group for my friends and I send them the invite link, then they all know about it. They've got their own friendship circles. Their friendship circles have friendship circles. So it's quite good in that way. And because it's all going to be driven by mobile traffic, I've put a lot of effort into, well, it's not a lot more effort. It's just consciously designing everything from my mobile first perspective. In terms of the scope, I just got really specific about like, what do we actually need to deliver people value and give them a version 1 that they'd be willing to pay with part with a little bit of cash for. So we got a nice brand, a good name, good domain, a landing page, payment processor in there. We need authentication, onboarding, accept/reject of join requests, an interface for recording updates, a feed where people can see all the updates in the group, notifications to that group that an update has been posted, ability to react to updates. I haven't got that in yet. And then the like turn taking, that's all in there. And I haven't got the admin in either. So again, maybe things we can take a look at in this final hour. This was my tech stack. It's Next.js. I managed to avoid Twilio in the end. I used TextBelt. It's like super, super basic. Probably needs upgrading at some point for like better deliverability and more options, but it was an easy thing to get started with. It's also expensive compared to some of the others, but at this stage, I just go for like ease over affordability, because why spend hours more on it if it's not going to work out? We don't really know. We've got to get it out there. If people really like it and it's doing really well, then we'll optimize costs. Better Auth for all the authentication stuff. I've used Ingest to handle a lot of the like background scheduling. Yeah, nice. We're on the same page there. And yeah, paywalling after 3 days is an interesting thought. Yeah, I don't know how well that works with turn taking. There's also the friction of like, you invite all your mates to this group and then it's like everyone puts the effort into getting on there. Probably takes some maybe longer than 3 days to even accept the invite and get on the platform. And so do they really get value in 3 days? How long is it going to be until they get value? So at the moment, I think I quite like the just like low payment barrier. It's like $7 US per group per month. So if it's like $1 per person if you got a relatively moderate sized friendship group. Stripe for payments, Neon Postgres database, and Prisma for my database stuff, and then Vercel blob storage just to store the audio files that people are uploading. I put a bit of thought into the name, went through a bunch of options. There were some good ones and some bad ones, but eventually landed on this usesideline.com. I won't go into why I like that, to be honest, because it's just a name. I think people get too into the naming. For me, it's just a name. Like, is it? I made an Instagram post about this the other day, but it's just like, is it clear? Is it simple? Is it easy to pronounce? And that's kind of good enough for me. And then I took quite a lot of inspiration from this Clubhouse UI and UX design. I thought it was really nice. It's got kind of an elevated feel, which I wanted for a late 20s to early 40s male audience. I thought it was important that, yes, Odin, my boy, come on. Yeah, I thought it was important that it has like a level of sophistication to it. Blokes don't want to sign up to something that feels toyish or too feminine or childish. So yeah. So that kind of led me to this color palette, which is what I've used. Played around with a few typefaces, landed on Playfair and Manrope. Played around with logo design, got a little bit lost, and then I just did this like slanted audio waveform thing. And I was